Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to another predictions video, and in today's video I'm going to be predicting the Connan versus Granadino fight. If you're on the rounds here though and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into it. So going into this fight, Connan is 6-2 with no KOs and Granadino is 9-1-4 with no KOs. This fight is for the vacant IBO World Flyweight title. Connan's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Radomska, and Granadino's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Gomez. Connan is 39 and Granadino is 25. This fight is in Connan's home country of France. Connan's losses have come versus L'Allemand in 2020 and Suarez in 2021, and Granadino's loss came via unanimous decision versus Lopez in 2020. Speak a bit more about what I've just been saying there. So, of course, it's being for an IBO World title. It's maybe not the biggest fight, but still a fight which I think could be an entertaining one and one going under the radar, in my opinion. Of course, neither of them have gotten any knockouts, and so from the basis, you're not going to be expecting a huge KO from what you'd imagine in this fight. But I think this could be, like I mentioned, an entertaining fight. Connan's last performance, a good shutout victory against a tough game opponent in Radomska. Granadino's last fight was a victory. It was maybe not the best of victories against Gomez. It was one which she struggled a bit at times, and it was a bit of a 50-50 fight at times, but of course she still managed to get the victory. Connan having that big age deficit against her, 14 years is a big age deficit, but the way she fights, she still kind of fights like she's a young prospect coming through, and so it's still not too much in the way of a bad thing that it's the age. It's not really come to show through as of yet. Gone out, and of course fighting in a home country, it's always going to add a benefit. And defeats, they've been relatively recent, and of course they're against tough opponents to an extent. The L'Allemand fight is going to be a tough opponent, and to be fair, if she wins this fight, then she might be going towards possibly a rematch with L'Allemand if she ends up losing or winning against Watson in her fight. And Granadino's loss, that was against another top level fighter as well in Lopez, being a little while ago now, to be fair. Going and speaking a bit more about fighters themselves, Connan, she's aggressive, she's a fast starter, she's a front foot fighter, she's got solid head movement, she'll stalk you down, she's a pressure fighter. She sits down on her shots. They may not necessarily be ones which are getting you out of there, but she's sitting down on them shots. She will bully opponents. She can fight at the close or at a mid-range. She's got fast hand twitches. When I say that, I mean good feints and just good general keeping opponents always on their toes, waiting to see what might be coming back to them. She's a high-tempo fighter, strong jab, closes the gap well. Like I said, she can do well in the way of bullying opponents. She is normally the smaller fighter in most of her fights, but she can manage to close the gap well, really put opponents on the back foot who are taller and should be imposing themselves a bit more. But she manages, like I said, to close the gap really well, and it's impressive to see. And and the fact that she is always going to be in front of you throughout the whole fight, she's going to be there doing her thing, trying to suss you out and trying to break you down, and she definitely does break you down with her shots. And like I said, she sits down on them shots a lot, so they may not necessarily be the most powerful shots which are going to get you out there, but they will eventually weigh and break you down. And like I said, good strong jab. She'll really push you back with that jab, to be fair, and when she uses it to the body, it's quite effective in keeping a distance. And like I said, the fact that she's a smaller fighter, the fact she's doing that with that lesser reach it's impressive. And as negatives, of course, she's a smaller fighter. Sometimes early on, she can struggle to find range if she isn't utilising the jab enough and coming in with them wild hooks. And the fact is, she does come in wildly with them hooks. She can struggle to cut off the ring at times when the fact that she is stalking you down and can push you back. She just struggles to cut off the ring at times. She will stand straight on at points as well, which is adding to the aggression and the war type, inside type mentality, but it means you're going to get hit more likely. She's got a lack of defensive movement. It's like I said, solid head movement, but physical lateral defensive movement, not too much. Accuracy can be off at times, especially with them hooks. She does overswing and overcommit a lot of her hooks. On the back foot, she's not amazing. She can kind of panic a little bit, and that's when she's more likely to just kind of stand on and try and trade and not really want to go on the back foot. She can struggle against combinations as well. Them fast hands she can struggle against, and she can headhunt a bit at times. Like I said, she's got a good jab when she utilises it to the body and really pushes that through. But when she's coming in with them hooks, it's the same as what I'd say Granadino is like. When she comes in with them hooks, they're wild and they are very much headhunting and just hoping to land the whole time, really. Granadino as a fighter, she's the taller fighter. She's got a jab which she pumps out, maybe not as strong but consistent. I'd say possibly more consistent than what Connan's is. She's got good straight shots. She's a front foot type fighter as well. Bit more of a mid range type fighter than what I'd say Connan, who I would say could possibly fight on both close or mid range. She's got solid fundamentals, like I said, works well off the jab and has that also alternative straight shot. She's well disciplined. She'll get back to her boxing when necessary. She ties up if needed as well, which is good to see. She will walk you down. In my opinion, she cuts off the ring better. She will reset back to the centre, kind of links to the discipline kind of mentality. And she can fight a bit more on the front or the back foot than what I'd say Connan can. So there's positives, there's negatives, there's similarities between the both fighters. I think it's going to be a good fight, in my opinion. I think Connan might end up pushing back Granadino, but Granadino can control the centre when necessary and will be wanting to throw her own shots at times, and she can get dragged into a wall, which kind of got shown in that last fight where, in my opinion, she does kind of struggle on the in close kind of fights, and so if Connan can get her there, then that's when things might get a bit more difficult for Granadino. She is, in my opinion, the softer hitter. She's also wild. She's, in my opinion, slower than what Connan is, and she also throws in wild arm hooks and accuracy is off. She's got a lack of head movement, I would say much less than what Connan's got, and Connan's is good, but it's not crazily good, and I'd say that Granadino has that lack of head movement. She doesn't really throw much in combinations. She'll just kind of do the 1 or the 1-2. She struggles if she misses the jab. If she misses that first punch, she can often just kind of fully commit her body in, and that's when she might end up clinching or possibly getting caught if you time her right. She can smother her work at times, like I said, if she is missing the jab by the opponent's moving, then yeah, she can smother her work. She can become a bit sloppy as well in the process. Timing is a bit off as well with them hooks, and to be fair, even her jab at times. And she does headhunt, especially, I would say she doesn't really go to the body much, and she headhunts, in my opinion, a bit more than what Connan does. Granadino is the favourite for this fight, and I think that Connan will win via unanimous decision. I think, like I said, if she gets it into the close range, then she can really let her hands go and let her hands just do her thing and really be able to outwork her. And I think she is that higher tempo type fighter and does have a good gas tank to her. And yeah, I think if she can possibly even work it down a bit with the body shots as well, with a body shot jab to maybe find range into the later rounds where maybe she may get a little bit more tired, but if she really pounces on the early rounds, she could easily take them, and then into the later rounds possibly work off a jab a bit more then. But I think there's a few ways in which she could win that. Even with her being the older fighter by that distance, I would say that she is, in my opinion, the fighter who's going to win. Then where would she go on to fight? Like I mentioned, the Lalemond versus Watson fight for the EBU European title is being contested. That could be an opponent, the winner could fight, and they probably could sell that fight for, I mean, it's for a world title to an extent. It's not a massive world title, but it's a world title nonetheless. Courtney, she has a big backing. She's 5-0 now. You never know. That could be a fight. Or Cruz, that could be another fight. I believe she's 6-0. She's also a similar age. She's 40 as well, I believe. So that could be another big fight, an American fight, to possibly get her over to America. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like if you didn't, like this, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.